Concerned what it hit for, cause I've still come to raise hell like Mephisto. Please don't front, cause I'll karate chop your lymph node. Noodle arm punk, you punch and end up with your wrist.
All right, welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. It's your boy MagMongoSlade. Let's talk about Bianca Belair and Bayley, who met each other face to face in what is, quite frankly, one of the most tired feuds in WWE. Considering it's been completely one-sided, there really is no reason for this. Now, because what they said, I'm just going to boil everything down instead of going back and forth. The point of this now is that Bayley is being very cerebral. And that's kind of the gimmick that's been going on so far. Is that Bianca Belair is essentially Superwoman. She's bigger, she's faster, she's stronger. The only thing that she is, they're testing her intelligence at this point. So Bayley is trying to outsmart her at every pass. That's why she was in the Hell in a Cell match. They was tying her hair to the ladder, tying her hair to the bottom rope, all that kind of stuff. They're playing it to her very real weaknesses, which is her mental fortitude. If you saw her documentary, then you know that Bianca Belair suffered from depression. She was suicidal for a while. So those kind of things, that mental weakness, that's what they have in Bayley play upon. So this is why Bianca Belair is saying, like, oh, people have laughed at me my whole life. That affects me. Bayley is, constantly poking and prodding at me. That affects me. She's admitting that her weaknesses because we already know it, right? If you saw the documentary, you already know it. Now, they're not going to say that on screen. They're not going to say, well, she's mentally weak because she was suicidal and all that kind of stuff. She has self-doubt issues and all that. They're not going to go through all that, right? But they're going to tell us, or show us rather, that the only way for Bayley to really challenge her is to be mental, So Bayley is being extra annoying with the laughing, right? That's what it was at first. She was cackling like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Now she's like, I'm in your head. I'm in your head. And Bianca Belair is like, yeah, you are in my head. Because no matter how many times I beat you, you won't go away. You won't leave me alone. You're following me. You're obsessed with me. And in some ways, it is taking her off her game. It's making her angry. And obviously it's leading her to make bad decisions. And now she's saying the only way to get rid of Bayley is to humiliate Bayley. And the only way to do that is to defeat her in a I Quit match at Money in the Bank. I like the idea of the I Quit match. I love that. They should have had that instead of the Hell in a Cell match, okay? Because it's a perfect gimmick to defeat a villain like Bayley, right? When you have, to put it in these terms, in order for Superman to defeat Lex Luthor, he has to defeat Lex Luthor on Lex Luthor's level. We all know Superman can outpunch Lex Luthor. He can punch him all day. It doesn't matter. That doesn't make Superman look good. Him punching Lex Luthor out, because like he's pulling planets and shit. He can fly into the sun and all that kind of stuff. We know that physically Lex Luthor is no challenge. Situation is the same here. We know that Bianca Belair is bigger, stronger, faster. We've seen that already. Even from the first feud that they had, where they did the obstacle course, and Bianca Belair ran around the track faster than Bayley. The basketball thing, she did it better than Bayley. All this kind of stuff, this physical strength, we already know that. The only way for Bianca Belair to defeat Bayley permanently is to outsmart Bayley, right? And outsmart Bayley in a way where Bayley can't possibly make any excuses. And that makes sense. From a storyline perspective, it makes sense. It makes sense from a Saturday morning cartoon type of children's fairy tale kind of way. From an archetype standpoint, it makes sense. As far as these two characters, where Bianca Belair is a powerhouse, she's almost superhuman. That's how they're kind of pushing her. And Bayley knows her weaknesses because Bayley is very cerebral. So the only way to really defeat a cerebral opponent is to outthink them. You humble them in a way. And that's important. But I'm tired of this fucking feud. That's it. I'm tired of this feud. This feud has been going on for way too long. I think it started right after WrestleMania, didn't it? And that's been 3 months ago. You could have gotten fired from WWE and been rehired in this amount of time. I mean, they've been going at it back and forth for weeks. It's not doing Bianca Belair any favors to beat Bayley 100 fucking times. You know, heaven forbid she fucking loses, but it doesn't do her any good to beat Bayley again. You know, if they would have done this rather than the Hell in a Cell match, I would have been like, great, that'd have been awesome, good blow off. You know, and I still would have said all the same things about the mentality and all that kind of stuff, the mental fragility of Bianca Belair and the, you know, not super mental powers of Bayley or whatever. That all still would have made sense, and it still all would have been true, and it still all would have been relevant. Except for you had this big fucking match called a Hell in a Cell match, which apparently is now just a comma instead of an exclamation point. What was the point of that match then? If it wasn't going to end the feud, what was the fucking point of the match? It might as well have just been a regular match with ladders and shit. It might have just been no DQ. Because we already know it's not really a Hell in a Cell match. Because there's no blood. There's no real danger. It's just a no-holds-barred match inside of a red cell. I mean, it's stupid. It defeated the fucking purpose of the Hell in a Cell match. Now, I like both Bianca Belair and Bayley, but I hate the booking behind this, as I've already said. I don't think SmackDown's writing team, which is usually pretty good, knows what the fuck to do with Bianca Belair or with Bayley. And Sasha Banks being gone, doing whatever Sasha Banks is doing. They just kind of say, well, we got nothing. You know, it is not just like, oh, they shouldn't have fired all those people. It's like, what are you going to do here? You going to have Billie Kay versus Bianca Belair? No. You know, so it didn't matter that they fired Billie Kay. Are you going to have Chelsea Green versus Bianca Belair? No. So that didn't matter either. It's not that they fired people. It's that they did not have a plan. You could have had a lengthy feud with Bayley, but that should not have required for them to have a Hell in a Cell match and a not quit match. One or the fucking other, right? They could have had one or the other. And this is the one thing that I say AEW does better than WWE is they will literally throw anybody into a top match and then pretend like they did something. Like they did, a couple months ago. They did Orange Cassidy and Pac versus Kenny Omega. They just threw those two in the match and they'd be like, well, we're trying to make stars, brother. We're trying to make stars. It's like, no. It's just that Kenny Omega needs to have a match on this card. That's all it is. You know, there was no thought put into that. It's just that we don't have anybody for Omega to wrestle, so just throw these two guys in there. WWE should be doing stuff like that. You know, it's like, okay, Bianca Belair needs an opponent for Money in the Bank. It doesn't matter who it is. The draw is Money in the Bank. She could wrestle fucking Sonya Deville. Who cares? The draw is Money in the Bank. It's the same thing with Royal Rumble. We're not banking on Bianca Belair and her opponent having equal star power in this big match on Money in the Bank. No, that's not what we're banking on here. We're banking on the fucking ladder matches being good enough for people to fucking care about this show. You could have thrown anybody in there. Why the fuck are you picking Bayley again? It's because you don't have anybody else. When you do, you have plenty of other people. You just don't fucking use them. You got people sitting at home for months doing nothing. This makes no sense. Now, I do believe this will be a good match because an I Quit match is usually pretty good. I don't see it being much different from their Hell in a Cell match, except for it's probably going to be a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more tactical. And I have enjoyed those aspects of Bayley's character that she's been attempting to be a lot more tactical as a heel. I enjoy that. I love that about that character. Except for I just don't like the presentation. I don't like that she's, you know, essentially cutting the same promos all the time. Laughing, you know, ridiculously over the top. Fighting and losing to the same person again and again. It's not as cool. The difference between the Shredder and Team Rocket is the amount of time that they make contact. The Shredder is not going to fight the Ninja Turtles in every episode and lose. He may fight them every few episodes and lose. You know, maybe once every 20 episodes or something like that. He's not going to fight them every episode and lose. Team Rocket fights them every episode and loses. It gets to the point where they even don't think they can win. Where they know that they're a joke. You know? And of course, they don't take themselves seriously. You have to maintain. And it's Bayley, too. So it's not like some low-level Carmella type of... Not to say that Carmella's low-level, but not somebody who is, you know, people that nobody cares about. It's like Bayley was a long reigning champion. You're really devaluing her too. Like she can't do her job in elevating other people if she's constantly doing jobs. And then it's not like Bayley is out here winning matches because there's nobody for her to wrestle. So unless she's going to beat Liv Morgan to paste on TV every week, there's no string of people for her to wrestle. I mean, you got a performance center full of motherfuckers who could have had come in and do jobs, you know, which would have made sense to me. If you're low on roster, wouldn't that be the first thing you would do? Is that you would start calling in, hey, you know, who is in NXT that's not really ready yet? Let's bring them in and they'll just do jobs on SmackDown and we'll build up Sonya Deville. We'll build up Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega and all them until we figure out what we're doing, you know? But that will require just a modicum of thought. And it's not like the Performance Center and NXT are on the other side of the globe. They're both in Florida, for fuck's sake. It's stupid. And then, you know, now of course you can't do it because everybody's got to go on the road. So whatever. But I like the match. I just don't like the concept of throwing away a Hell in a Cell match. And just, again, having this match. It's not an epic feud. It's dragging at this point. But so am I. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Tell me what's worse than learning all that you led to believe was all horse crap. They distort, so question as if you